Welcome to Graybo's Giblets. We are Gray Burnett, Ryan Fitz, and Duke Dotson, and we own a sports card shop called Graybo Sports Cards and a sports bar called Parlay in Richmond, Virginia. We know you don't have 40 hours per week to pour over podcasts and spreadsheets, but you want to get in on the action, so we do the work for you. We bring you 30-minute giblets each week so you can feel good heading up to the window and heading into the weekend. We are the crossroads of sports lovers, fantasy heads, sports betting, and sports cards. We're out here dropping giblets for the people. And today we are going to get into some NFL futures and predictions. It is our preview show. But before we do that and get into our picks, we have a very special guest joining Graybo's Giblets today. I want to introduce Jack Fitzpatrick, the host of the Fitz The Bill, Richmond's go-to and only local morning sports talk show on ESPN Richmond. What's up, Jack? Can I call you Fitz? Is my first thing I want to ask you.
You can, but I might get a little confused. I'm just throwing that out there right here, right now. All of that giblet talk. I really want a gin gimlet now. I don't know why, but I'm craving a gimlet.
Everybody mispronounces and calls it giblets. They never heard of like giblets and gravy. I don't know why. Great. Can I congratulate you on getting the intro right for the first time?
Yes.
It was
your coaching. It was your coaching, so I thank you.
It's
teamwork.
One simple swing thought. That's the key to life.
So very excited to have Jack here to get in on some NFL stuff. We brought in Moneyline Mac for college football. We need help on the NFL, so we brought in Mr. Fitz here, and we're ready to get started. But first, Denny, one time wearing the Jaden jersey, how do you feel about the signing today? Scary Terry getting that 3-year, $96 million, I believe.
Yeah, very excited. My text started blowing up. I looked at my phone. Chase Fuller was the first guy to message me. He was excited. I'm excited. It's a good day for Washington. Brian Robinson's off to the Niners, which is fine. But we needed Terry. We need him now, and I am very happy to have him in camp.
Awesome. Jack, who's your squad?
I'm a Seahawks fan.
We got a lot of Seahawks fans here.
I know.
I'm an out west guy. Got family out there, so I picked up through it, just kind of through osmosis. And now out here on the East Coast, I haven't found another Seahawks fan. So if send them my way.
Fish guts.
Yeah, we got a couple
Next door.
We got a guy that works here. His fish guts. Perfect.
Yep.
Brady is his name, but we call him Fish Guts because that's his Fanatics Live screen name. But awesome. We thank you for coming in, Jack, and we're ready to get started and get into the NFL preview. First game is coming up, ladies and gentlemen, that Thursday night, September 4th. We're going to break down the divisions first. Let's see if we have any bets that we like, see any teams, any sleeper teams that we like, players that we like, and then we'll pick our conference winners, division winners, and then we'll end it with our Super Bowl winners. So let's talk a little bit about the NFC East. Let's go there. Commander talk, Eagle talk, defending champions. You got Michael Parsons and the Cowboys. This division is something. So, Denny, what do you have on the NFC East? Do you have a pick? Do you like your Commanders here? What do you think?
The NFC East is known for not having a repeat winner. It almost has never happened in the last 15 years. The Eagles look pretty strong to end the season. Almost everybody's back. So I think, even though I'm a big Commanders fan, I think I'm going to give a slight edge to the Eagles. I'm definitely ruling out the Giants. I think the Cowboys will be close but not there, and I think the Commanders are going to be nipping at them. I'm somewhat concerned about the sophomore slump that a lot of quarterbacks go through with Jaden. I think he's good enough to persevere and push through and be as good as last year, but there's always, most rookie quarterbacks, take C.J. Stroud, for example, take a little step back as folks know how to game plan around them. So I'm going to give the slight edge to the Eagles with the Commanders nipping at their heels.
All right, there you go. Jack, what about you, man, the expert here? What we got in the East?
I like the Commanders to win it because
Let's go.
There has been no repeat winner in the NFC. Now, I will say the last repeat winner in the NFC East was the Eagles in the early 2000s. But Saquon, he had a lot of touches last year. And if he fades, then the entire Eagles offense fades. But you're right, the Cowboys, they've got no defense. And as long as Micah Parsons on the sideline, they even more so have no defense. The Giants will be doing a mixture of Russell Wilson and Jackson Dart, and that leaves me hating their chances to even win 5 games this year.
Yeah.
So I think the Commanders, just the fact the Eagles, the history says they're not going to repeat. And so the Commanders with Jaden, they shored up that offensive line with Laramie Tunsil, the Connerly draft pick. I really like their chances just to do barely enough. Not saying they're going to run away with the division, but eke out maybe a game over the Eagles and pull out the NFC East.
Your mouth to God's ears.
I like that too. I mean, you look at Saquon's numbers last year; it just tells you regression, right? And he is a guy that gets hurt a lot. I just don't see. He's still going to have a good year. I think the Eagles are still very good, but the Commanders are right there. I'm going to give a slight edge to the Eagles, but if I were to bet this, I don't really get value with the Eagles at minus 140. I would take Commanders plus 220. I do think it's a pass for me, but if I have to choose, I would pick the Eagles to win the division, but I would bet the Commanders, if that makes sense, to get the value. Giants, I love what Jack was saying. I definitely I would love to bet the under on the Giants. Is that number 5.5? I don't know. I think it was 5.5. But
It's between 4.5 and 5.5.
yeah, I would love it if
Too
I
high.
could.
It's
Yeah,
too high.
it's too high. Right, too high. I would love it at under 5.5 if I can get that, if it's still there, because I think they're winning 3 or 4 games. So even the 4.5, under 4.5, I might take it. Do you guys have, Denny? I'll start with you. Do you have a bet for the NFC East, or is this a pass for you?
It's a pass for me. Not taking the Eagles. I think the Commanders with a little value is more enticing.
What about you, Jack?
I would take the Commanders at plus 220.
Okay.
I love history. Historical evidence gives you so much. And the history shows that the Eagles aren't going to win this division, and the Commanders are then the most likely, in my opinion, to win the division.
All right, check. I'm now switching to taking the Commanders plus 220. So no Giants at 18-1. No Giants.
Thank you.
And the
no,
Cowboys are plus 650. The Eagles are minus 140 for those of you following along. We like the Commanders with the value at plus 220. All right, let's head to the NFC North, which I think is the hardest division in the NFC. My Vikings. I'm going to have some trouble this year with some really good teams. Even the Bears, who are predicted last in the division. Let's see here. The NFC North got the Bears plus 550. The Vikings are plus 320. Packers plus 225, and the Lions plus 160. So everyone is right there. Very hard division. Let's start with Jack in the NFC North. What are your thoughts in this hard division here?
I really like the Packers at plus 225. Jordan Love last year, we were hyping on how he wasn't that good last year. Well, he was hurt all year. He had the MCL sprain in week 1 on that trash field down in Brazil. And then he was struggling with that all year. And the Packers didn't look like what they look like in 2023. I think we're having too much, just recent bias in how we assess the Packers. And then Matthew Golden is a great wide receiver, should give them instant offense. Josh Jacobs is still a great RB1. And I'll tease this a little bit. I don't love the Lions. I think they're primed for a ton of regression. I think the Vikings are primed for a ton of regression. And I think the Bears are a year away from being a year away with Caleb Williams and Ben Johnson. So I love the Packers at plus 225.
I don't even have to speak. He said everything that I wanted to say. I think Matt LaFleur is one of the best coaches in the NFL. He was able to win with Malik Willis for a while when Jordan Love went down. I think Jordan Love takes a step this year. I think Matthew Golden was the right draft choice. Big, deep threat to go along with Wicks. Shout out my UVA boy, Jaden Reed.
I've never heard someone say shout out Dontavian Wicks.
Yeah, shout out.
Everyone in that wide receiver room, you said Wicks.
Watch. Wahoo. Jaden Reed, Tucker Kraft. I don't even care about Christian Watson and Romeo. I think those other 3 Packer wide receivers are going to be the guys. Watch. They have a top 5 defense. Last year, they only allowed 19 points per game, and they're just so good at home as well. I just think this team is going to go very far, and you stay tuned for my predictions. That's all I got to say. And then Jack mentioned, the Vikings and the Lions. I think the Lions kind of missed their window last year and the year before. I love the Packers this year, and Denny was making fun of me. And the Packers at plus 225, I'm locking it in Denny, what do you guys say now?
I mean, you guys make a compelling case. Obviously, this division is all bunched together. I think the win totals are all between 8.5 and 10.5, so they're all really close. The Lions lost most, their coordinators, a lot of their coaching staff, which one of the great things about the Lions the last 2 years was the culture they built, and all the coaches were preaching that culture. All the players were, and so the O coordinator going to Chicago, I think really hurts Goff specifically because I think he was the Goff whisperer. I think he was the guy that got Goff doing what he did the last 2 years. So I think that's going to hurt, and I think they're definitely going to regress. They're not going to win 14 or 15 games this year, but I've got them edging out your Packers just barely. Dan Campbell is still a monster, and he can only do what he does. I think he's going to have a short shelf life. So I think he's going to die of like not a heart attack, but just he's going to give out because of the energy he puts forth every day. But I still think they have the players. Hutch is back, so give me the Lions winning that division by a game over your Packers, and the Vikings I think will be right there too. I think the Bears are just like a couple pieces away. I don't think they're ready.
Yeah, that's a good point. I mean, they have a really good offense, bringing a good coach. But I want to get your opinion on, especially Jack, what's your opinion on a guy who hasn't thrown a ball yet in a game from the Minnesota Vikings, my guy J.J. McCarthy. And in the card market, he is booming. People are buying his cards left and right for lots of money, and he hasn't taken an NFL snap yet. So the people believe in him. Jack, do you believe in him?
No.
I'm kind of with you. I'm kind of with you, too.
I think it was a mistake for the Vikings to let Sam Darnold walk. I think J.J. McCarthy is going to be a fine quarterback. Like, Kevin O'Connell is a great quarterback whisperer. He's going to make J.J. McCarthy probably look better than he actually is because he's going to draw up an offensive scheme that is catered towards J.J. McCarthy. And when you're throwing to Justin Jefferson, life's pretty easy. But J.J. McCarthy's not going to win you 13 games year in and year out. He kind of gives me who was the last bad quarterback to win a Super Bowl? Trent Dilfer?
Trent Dilfer, yeah.
Maybe a slightly elevated Trent Dilfer, but he never really was asked to throw the ball a ton at Michigan, and now he's a year off of a meniscus injury. He's going to be less mobile. He's with an offensive line that was pretty beaten up last year and wasn't the best even when healthy. There's a lot of question marks around a quarterback that already has a lot of question marks.
Yeah,
I agree.
100%, I agree. I got to see it first to believe it. And we didn't really even get to see it at Michigan because he ran the ball a lot.
And we didn't see it in the preseason all last year because he got hurt game one of the preseason too.
Yeah, I think they will go as he goes, and 8 and 9, 9 and 8 sounds pretty good for JJ.
Well said, well said. So I think me and Jack are locking in the Packers here. Duke, do you have a
no bet
here? No bet. Pass for you?
I got another bet in the NFC North.
Yeah. Give it to us.
Lions to miss the playoffs at plus
148.
Plus 148?
Plus 148.
Okay.
Plus 148. Lions to miss the playoffs.
That's bold.
I like it. Good value. All right, let's move into the NFC South, where this division's always up for grabs. We have the Bucks minus 115, Baker Mayfield. Atlanta Falcons are plus 210, the Panthers plus 475, and the Saints 18-1. Could be rough for the Saints with the quarterback options. Let's start with Jack in the NFC South. What are your thoughts here with these four teams?
I really like the Bucks to win. There's no value there. So if you're looking for a little value on it, the Panthers. I think the Panthers are a fun, frisky team. They seem to be peaking at the right time last year. Bryce Young seemed to have found his rhythm with new head coach Dave Canales. But the Bucks bring back their entire roster from last year. Baker Mayfield looks good. How do they address losing Liam Cohen, who is probably one of the better offensive minds in the league? How do you figure that out? But what that whole coaching staff has been able to do the last couple of years, paired with bringing back your entire roster, and, oh, by the way, we bring in Emeka Egbuka from Ohio State, that offense shouldn't miss a beat, and that defense should still be pretty solid.
Right, with McMillan's going to miss some time, but you have Emeka.
Oh no, yeah,
he probably would have started over him anyways. That offense is elite. I have Tampa Bay as well at minus 115. I don't think I'm going to bet it. I don't like anyone else in this division. I do, Bryce Young did show some improvement towards the end of the year, and adding McMillan is going to help. But I did see the Vikings are pushing hard to get Thielen back on their squad, if you saw that.
Wow.
Yeah, pushing hard.
You get a 41-year-old. That's
Pushing
awesome.
hard to get Thielen back. I don't know if that's like, hey, in your career with us type of thing, but McMillan's going to be the guy there in Carolina. But Thielen did have a great year last year, but it's McMillan time. So I do like, if you want to chase a little bit at plus 475, the Panthers offense could be something, but they're going to have to score a lot of points because their defense is really bad. Really bad. Denny, do you have anything here?
I might actually bet the Bucks. I don't see anybody else winning this division. The Saints are out. They might be the worst team in football. The Panthers are interesting. I am rooting for Bryce Young. I've got several career bets on Bryce Young with my friend Marshall Haggard. Shout out Haggy. The Falcons are interesting. But all the fancy heads are big on Bijan and Drake having a big year. I think it's going to be really interesting to see what Penix does this year. I'm rooting for that kid as well. Love him. But I believe in Baker. I think they're going to get it done, and so I actually may put something on the Bucks.
Okay, awesome. All right, so let's move on here to the NFC West. Before I do that, Jack, do you have any other bets
No
in that
bets for
division?
That division's a hot mess.
A hot mess. Yes. All right, let's move on. The NFC West. Now, here's a division up for grabs, ready to go. The 49ers plus 155 and shop around. I'm on DraftKings right now, but shop around. The Rams are plus 200. The Cardinals are plus 425, and the Seahawks are plus 500. So everyone is very close to each other in this division. Let's start with Jack, Mr. Seahawk fan. First, give me your thoughts on the Seahawks.
And I have a
Do
question.
they have a chance?
I have a question.
Okay.
As a Seahawks fan, Geno or Darnold, who would you prefer?
Geno.
Okay.
I could get into a whole monologue about how Sam Darnold's horrible against interior pressure, and the Seahawks interior, or against the whole Seahawks offensive line was a dumpster fire last year. Now you're putting a guy who's really susceptible to pressure behind that.
Yeah.
Oh, by the way, you let Tyler Lockett go, DK Metcalf go. But with all that being said, I'm an unreliable narrator here. I understand I have bias in here. And initially, I thought 49ers to win this division because their schedule is the easiest in the NFL. They were ravaged by injury last year, and there should be some sort of, not regression, but I guess progression to the mean. And with that, it should line up well for them. And then the Rams don't have Stafford as it stands right now with like a herniated disc in his back or something. But like I said, I'm an unreliable narrator. So the Seahawks, plus 500. Because am I buying too much hype into the preseason? 1,000,000%. But Gray Zabel, their first-round draft pick, dude's been a stud at the guard position, makes everyone else look better. Maybe they can get a full season out of Abe Lucas and Charles Cross at the tackle positions. And Clint Kubiak, the former Saints offensive coordinator, looks like he gets figured out what a run game is, something Seattle hasn't had since Marshawn Lynch. If everything goes right, I like the Seahawks plus 500. But I'm an unreliable narrator. There's a lot of bias showing when I talk Seahawks.
Yeah, I mean, you said it. For me, it's all about Matt Stafford's health. I haven't bet it yet, but I would go Rams. But with Stafford's health, I think this might be a pass for me, depending how long he's out for. If he's out for a long time, I'm pounding the 49ers. Like you said, just so many injuries, weak schedule. But I want to bet the Rams based on that offense with picking up Devontae Adams. Puka's an absolute monster. Kyron Williams, absolute touchdown monster. Great offense. Defense a little weak, but, Jared Verse, the rookie last year, had a great season. Their defensive line can get to the quarterback. If the defensive line can get to the quarterback, get a lot of pressure on the quarterback, that will help this weak-ass secondary. Very worried about the Rams secondary, but I want to bet the Rams, but the news with Stafford, so hard. Probably a pass for me until I see his status. How many games is he out? What's his health like? We're not getting much. But, Sean, the head coach, is unbelievable. I just want to bet on him every time. So right now for me, as it stands, I will stay with the Rams, just waiting on some news. What about you, Denny?
Yeah, this is a tough one. I'm ruling out. I think the Cardinals are decent, but I'm not considering them. The Seahawks, despite our guest here, I'm not really considering them. The Rams and Niners are two of my favorite head coaches in the league. I think I'm ultimately going to go with the Niners, slight lean over the Rams. I think McCaffrey's proven he can come back from an injury and have a big year. I think he's still young enough. He's a different kind of athlete. I think he can bounce back. If he can stay healthy, I think the Niners have a great chance to win this division. I mean, the Niners, remember 2 years ago, were a force. And last year was just, injury after injury. And so I still think that core is still there. I know the receivers have changed names the last couple of years, but they still have a talented core. So, yeah, they picked up Ryan Robinson, which is whatever. So, like, their top 3 backs are pretty solid. Like, Garendo was a big fantasy name going into to this draft season, and now all of a sudden he's third string apparently. So that's pretty interesting.
I know, it's like if McCaffrey gets hurt, Brian Robinson's going to be good. He just finds a way to make all running backs good for fantasy football purposes. Yeah. So locking in 49ers, are you betting that? No bet for you. Jack, are you betting the Seahawks, or is it just kind of like
I'll throw a unit down?
All right.
I'll also throw a unit down on them to win the Super Bowl. Like it's the thing where you have to bet your team to win these things that you can cash in a little bit. It's the price of doing business. But if I was advising someone else with their money, I would tell them not to bet the Seahawks. But with my own money, I will bet them. The fact that they are behind the Cardinals in odds to win the NFC West is so. Like, this is a team that won 10 games last year, and in theory, they switched out a light quarterback for a light quarterback. They, in theory, got better on the offensive line. They're going to have a top 5 defense in the league this year, and you're saying that they're the least likely to win the NFC West? Like, come on. I love the Cardinals, but what are we doing?
I think all these teams have a chance, to make the playoffs. I mean, obviously, they're not all going to make the playoffs, but I wouldn't be surprised if, the Seahawks made a run and made the playoffs. The Cardinals made a run and made the playoffs. Yeah.
I'll say your Packard conversation was more compelling than your Seahawks conversation.
Look, I'm an unreliable. I can't say that enough. But the Seahawks, it's bad.
They may come back to haunt me.
It's funny because Duke and I are in this league where the thing is 12 guys, and you put in $100 each year, but this guy came up with it's all the worst teams that haven't won a championship in 10 years. And so we got the Cardinals as our team. So they have to win a Super Bowl. What are our chances?
It's multi-sport. So it's
hockey,
the 4 worst hockey teams, 4 worst baseball teams.
So right now, one guy has the Lions. Another guy
has nice for him.
Another guy has the Knicks because
someone has the Tigers.
I think someone has the Tigers in baseball. So
and then you guys have the Cardinals.
And then we have the Cardinals, but we're not the worst. It's fun. The hockey teams are atrocious. Some of the hockey teams that people have, it's pretty fun. The Pirates. Someone has the Pirates. It's pretty fun. And after 3 years, you could throw your team back in and repick from whatever the teams are left in free agency, I guess. But you have to re-up $100 each year. So
it's
adds
a rolling pot.
It's a rolling pot until
someone's
team wins it all. So it's fun. You're rooting for these bad teams.
That Tigers guy, whoever has the Tigers, is living life.
Living life. Yeah. Probably should, maybe hedge or something. I would have
thought Detroit was the place to go for that.
Yeah, the Tigers and the Lions both
Yeah, I was all right, Cardinals could make the playoffs. I don't think they're going to win the Super Bowl. All right, so let's get into the AFC here. The AFC East, probably the easiest lock of the century for me, but let's see what you guys say. Jack, in the AFC East, who you got here?
Yeah, the Bills, right? Duh. But if you're looking for value, maybe the Dolphins, if Tua stays healthy and things go right for them, maybe them. The fact that Patriots on DraftKings are the second favorites to win this division, wild.
By a lot.
The Vrabel bump is insane. I would think the Dolphins should be second. So you get a little value, I guess, at plus 1,000. But, they're not winning the division. It's the Buffalo Bills. So probably a nice minus 330 there.
Yeah. Denny?
Yeah, I think the Jets are doo-doo, and I think I'm going to say the Dolphins are just north of doo-doo. So I caveat that by saying, yes, to his health, is Tyreek going to be Tyreek, or is he going to be old crazy man? I don't know. New England's getting this bump, I think, because of Vrabel. I think because of Drake May's second half of the year. And I think their defense got a little more solid. So, Vegas moved them 4 wins higher than their win total last year, which is unheard of.
That's a huge.
Sometimes that happens, but Vegas doesn't do it right away. So, I think their win total is 8.5. I think they won. I can't remember if it was 4 or 5 games they won last year. But so I I think the Patriots will be decent and they might sink into the playoffs, but I think it's the Bills' division. They'll win it by 3 games or so.
Yeah, I think the Bills are a lock at minus 330. Obviously, I'm not going to bet that. But I am a Drake May believer this year. I think Drake May is going to be very good. Could be a very good fantasy football sleeper. If you're listening to this, go draft him. I'm kind of with Duke. I think Dolphins, they're 10-1, but I think under 7.5. I think it's at minus 115 is one of the biggest locks for me that I'm betting this year.
Wow.
Yep. So I am out on the Dolphins, and the Jets are 19-1, totally out on them. So it's Bills or nothing here, but I don't think I can get to the minus 330. But can Josh Allen win a Super Bowl? We'll talk about that later. Let's go to the AFC North. In the North, we have the Ravens minus 170. The Bengals plus 290, Steelers plus 475, and the Cleveland Browns 40-1, keeping 4 quarterbacks. Let's go. Who is on the Browns? Jack, what do you have here in the North?
Ravens. There's not a lot of value there. I hate Aaron Rodgers. I think the Steelers are a dump. It is going to be a sub 500 year for Mike Tomlin. Sell all of your stock in the Steelers as soon as humanly possible. And then what? The Bengals don't have a functional defense. Trey Hendrickson, I think, still hasn't shown up as of recording of this and isn't going to probably want to. Who knows what's happening with him? Joe Burrow, Jamar Chase, T. Higgins will probably go off and score like 35, but their defense will allow 40. And then the Ravens are just going to be Mr. Consistent, and I think the Ravens are going to easily win this division.
Yeah.
What about you, Denny?
Yeah, and I might bet it. You're laying some juice to bet it, but I think it's the Ravens. I think the Ravens are one of the best 3 teams in football. I think Cincinnati, after last year, everyone thought, well, at least this year they'll get better on the offensive line, they'll get better at defense, and I don't think they really did. So I think poor Joe is going to be running for his life. I hope he stays healthy. You and I, Gray, are big Joe Burrow fans. From a card perspective, I've kind of pulled back my buy recommendation on Joe a little bit, just thinking about how much he's going to get hit this year and how much he's going to have to throw the ball. Offensive line is porous. He's going to get hit. It's a decent chance of him getting hurt this year. But I love Joe. I hope, I think Chase Brown is a decent fantasy asset as well. I agree with what Jack said about the Steelers. I think Aaron Rodgers might be the only human in history that could get Tomlin fired. He's that powerful.
Do your own research on
that. He's like. I think I joked last week that no amount of ayahuasca in the world that's going to make Rodgers go to football this year. And so I'm with it. I think the Steelers win maybe 7 games this year, and then the Browns are not even like taken seriously as a football team this year. So
I think every quarterback might play this year for the Browns.
Including Deshaun Watson.
Yeah. I even forgot about him. They got 5 quarterbacks.
I think they're paying him $50 million still.
It's wild. It is absolutely wild.
Yeah.
So I guess they're keeping all those guys to trade and just keep getting draft picks.
Imagine the controller
right?
of
what are they doing?
Imagine the controller of the Browns every month when he cuts that check to Deshaun, just how he feels. Like, it's just got to be a sick feeling.
Definitely. Ravens for me as well at minus 170. Yeah, I'm with Denny. I probably will play this too. I know it's minus 170, but I just feel so confident.
I might play the Bills too. You're laying 330, but it's free money.
Maybe
I think.
parlay them.
Yeah, that's a good point.
Yeah,
definitely do that. Bills, Ravens. I like that. I mean, I love Joe Burrow. I love this offense. I think it's such a good offense, and I was so high on Joe, like MVP this year. From a card perspective, I wanted to buy all of Joe. He was really low. Now he's catching up to the market. But they just didn't do anything to help themselves on defense or that offensive line. And I can't get to the Bengals. I wanted the Bengals to go far. I was thinking Bengals maybe get back to the Super Bowl type, but they didn't do anything. Came and lock up their best defender. It's a mess on defense. Like Jack said, they're going to lose games 40-35 because their offense will keep them in games. But it's Ravens for me. I like the Bills-Ravens parlay. I do like that. So let's go to the AFC South. Take a look here. The Texans plus 100. The Jaguars plus 300. Can T-Law bounce back? The Colts are plus 400. Danny Dimes getting the starting job. And the Titans plus 650 with Cam Ward. Jack, what do you think in the South? Can Stroud bounce back? Or can Cam Ward bring the Titans all the way to the top?
This is the toughest division to figure out because the Texans were bad last year. Like, yeah, they made the playoffs. Yeah, they had 9 wins. But, like, their offensive line was horrible. C.J. Stroud was running for his life, and C.J. Stroud took maybe one of the biggest step backs we've seen from a freshman to a sophomore in quite some time at the quarterback position. And I don't think it was his fault. I think it was a bad offensive line and some weird cultural issues. Like, it seemed like there were some locker room issues going on last year. And what do? They trade away Laramie Tunsil. Their offensive line gets worse on paper than it was last year. And now they're the favorites to win the division. It doesn't make a lot of sense to me. And then I like the Jaguars at plus 300. I've been a Trevor Lawrence believer ever since he came into the league, and it just sucks that he got Urban Meyer, and then he got Doug Peterson, who, if you take out Doug Peterson's Super Bowl magical run thanks to Nick Foles, he was a below 500 coach. Like, Doug Peterson's not a good football coach. He got him for a couple of years. He's behind the 8 ball even more, and people are now writing him off as a bust. Now he gets maybe one of the better offensive minds in the NFL who helped continue the resurrection of Baker Mayfield. He is one of Sean McVay. He was one of Sean McVay's kind of like confidants there for a little bit. I love Liam Cohen, despite his weird, like, Duval thing. But I think the Jaguars are going to win the division.
If you could just communicate via email with the staff instead of talking.
Yeah, exactly. You know? He just never has to talk. Although I feel like he's probably a guy with an email that, like, sends a lot of ellipses in places they don't need to be, and it makes everyone feel uncomfortable and that he's mad at them. But, like, the Colts also stink. Daniel Jones is horrible. And then the Titans, Cam Ward. All right, cool. You're going to go from, 2-3 wins last year to 4 or 5 wins this year? Like, they're a year away from being a year away from being a year away. Like, give me the Jaguars at plus 300.
Yeah, me, Duke, and I, we have a lot of Trevor Lawrence cards here in the shop, and we need them to go up. So I like that pick. Definitely a pass for me. I wrote down, who knows? Like, I wish the Colts had a quarterback, and then I'd throw a few bucks on them, but I'm not betting Danny Dimes. That's for sure. So if I were to pick a team, I do like your Jaguars pick at plus 300. The Texans do have a pretty good defense. I will give them that, and I think Stroud does take a step forward. That's why I'm just not betting this division at all. I have no idea. So we'll see how it plays out. Maybe do a live bet during the season based on schedule and matchups. What about you, Duke?
Yeah, see, I can rule out the Titans and the Colts pretty easily, and so it comes down to the Texans and the Jags. It would be very interesting to see Liam Cohen's effect on Trevor. I think that would be the difference maker if they win the division. I think part of CJ's problem in Houston last year was his receivers kept getting banged up, and Tank Dell's still out, but he's got 4 or 5 pretty good receivers. They picked up 2 rookie receivers to go with the existing core. So I'm going to give the slight edge to the Texans, but it would not surprise me at all if Jacksonville pulls it out. I think it's between them two. I think it's going to be very tight. It's a pass for me.
Excellent. All right, let's get into the last division, the AFC West. We have the Chiefs minus 115, Broncos plus 250, Chargers plus 350, and the Raiders 22-1. All right, Jack, are the Chiefs continuing their run into the playoffs? Who do we have in the West?
They're continuing their run in their playoffs as a wild card team.
Okay.
Look, I'm part of the Justin Herbert hive. I love Justin Herbert.
I knew I liked you.
I think he's great. I think he's awesome. I think he's much like Trevor Lawrence has been given bad coach after bad coach, and now he finally has a good one. But the Chiefs are just going to, tough to dethrone them. I don't think there's any value in them, so there's more value in the Chargers. But the Chiefs, in theory, with Rashee Rice pending his suspension that's happening at a weird point in the season, but he's got good weapons this year. But Kelsey's now a year older. There's so many question marks around the Chiefs, but feels like that's what we said last year. I like the Chargers plus 350. I think they give you the best value in the AFC West.
Denny, go ahead. Since you're a Herbert guy and put a lot of money into him and his cards. Go ahead.
Yeah, I am a Herbert guy and a Harbaugh guy. So here's what I'll say. Going through all these future bets, these division winning bets, I couldn't find much value in any of them. I wasn't very excited about any bets in any of the divisions except for this division. And I think, and I'm with Jack on the Chargers here. So I think, let's go through a little bit. So we can rule the Raiders out, I think, as a favorite. They could always do something surprising. But let's talk about the Denver Broncos for a second. A lot of folks are big on the Broncos, Sean Payton, Bo Nix, etc. And they may be right. I don't know yet. We could have a sophomore slump. I think Sean Payton has proved himself to be a good coach over the course of time. But I like the Chargers because of I am a Herbert fan. I like the fact that when Harbaugh came in, they drafted an offensive lineman 2 years ago with the first, their number 4 pick. They're putting the emphasis on defense, the running game, and Herbert is still great, but he doesn't have to win the game himself. Harbaugh's had a good year too everywhere he's been. The second year is a big deal for him. So, I just think the Chiefs are getting older. I think Kelsey probably has one good year left in him. I think Mahomes is amazing, but I just think it's time for something different to happen here. And, I expect the Chiefs to get into the playoffs. Honestly, I expect those 3 teams, Broncos, Chargers, Chiefs, to get into the playoffs. But the only value I've found in all these bets is the Chargers, as he said, plus 330, plus 350. And so that's where I'm laying the lumber.
I just had to look this up real quick. They did lose Rashawn Slater.
They did, and
unfortunately.
that sucks.
That's a big.
I was like, they did lose someone huge on the line.
And that's a big deal. I agree.
Rashawn Slater. I just say it every year.
I know what you're going to do.
Are you a Justin Herbert hater?
No.
Oh,
I like
okay.
Justin Herbert. I say it every year. I'm taking the Chiefs until they're beat.
Yeah, that's fair.
I'm just taking them. Now, but I will say, after listening to you two, I was going to bet it at minus 115. I probably won't bet it now because you guys are both in on the Chargers. I'll throw in some sprinkles on the Chargers, but I just think the Chiefs. It's just they're my pick. They're my pick to win the division, but I'm not going to bet it now. After hearing you guys talk about the Chargers, you convinced me. All right, let's move on and get into some future bets on win totals, player props. If you have any, let's throw them out there. We like to bet. I know Jack likes to bet. We have a few. So let's start with our guest. Do you have any win totals that we can go after or player props that you have bet on already or thinking about maybe putting some money on?
A win total is the under 9.5 for the Rams. You mentioned it earlier with the Matthew Stafford question.
Yeah.
It's more so a bet on he won't last the whole season, even if he is ready to go week 1. He's like is he 30? Has he hit the 40 mark yet?
He's up there.
He's an aging quarterback who's had multiple back injuries throughout his career. This time last season, we were talking about nerve issues, if that was going to end his career as well. So we always have question marks around Stafford. I don't think he's going to make it a full season. And so this is more so a bet on the lack of Stafford with the Rams. I think they are a very good team. If Stafford plays an entire season, they're in the playoffs, but I don't think he's going to play a whole season. So under is plus 105 for the Rams.
I like that.
He's still 37. He's still
37. Backup's Jimmy Garoppolo.
Yeah, not the worst.
GQ, baby.
Not the worst backup. Not the worst backup.
And then Stetson Bennett.
Go
QB3.
Dogs.
Yeah.
All right, so we got Rams under 9.5. Anything else, or is that?
Life's short. Bet the unders is kind of my approach with some of these win totals. Lions doubling down on them missing the playoffs under 9.5 wins at plus 125. The brain drain's so massive in Detroit that it's going to be so hard to overcome. Because I think they lost 7 assistant coaches, whether it was OC, DC, or just position coaches. Yeah. That's going to be really tough to overcome. I think Ben Johnson was the Jared Goff whisperer. And, oh, by the way, you've lost, I think, 2 or 3 pretty important offensive linemen. So you're retooling all of that. Good luck, Detroit, but it does feel like you missed the window. Maybe this is a year, kind of Kyle Shanahan, the 49ers seem to do this every, 4 years. You have a throwaway year, you get a great pick in the NFL draft, and then all of a sudden you're right back at it again.
You're right back in it. I like it. All right. Anything else? Keep going.
And then last one then, because I don't want to be harping on too many unders. This is another under. Saquon under. His season total rushing yards prop, 1,375.5.
That's a lot. That's a lot of yards.
Minus 114. He had 300-plus carries last year, I think 345 in the regular season. Since 2020, there's been a bunch of players that have had that many carries. The year they got it, they missed an average of 1.5 games in that season. They had over 300 carries. The following season, Derrick Henry missed 9 games in 2020. Dalvin Cook missed 4. Jonathan Taylor missed 6 in 2021. Najee Harris, surprisingly, was healthy both years, so good job, Najee. Can't see out of one eye now, but I'm glad you were healthy back then. Josh Jacobs, he missed 4 games after 300 carries. Nick Chubb missed 15 games the next season. Granted, that was a kind of an extenuating circumstance, but he's going to miss some games this year, I'm expecting, Saquon, and that's a lot of yards, and I don't think he's going to hit it.
I'm on that one.
Yeah, it makes sense. Yeah.
It makes sense. It's backing it up with facts. Great stats. All right, Denny, what do you have here?
All right, I got a bunch just of win totals for you. So my 2 favorite teams of the year, Ravens and Bills, both over 11.5. Those are 2 of the teams I've lost the most money on, and then the Cowboys I've lost.
That is a lot of wins.
I know, but
He loves the Ravens and Bills.
I think I just like both of those teams, and so
Every year.
if you can't, I don't think 12-5, 13 wins is that weird. Again, I'm bullish on the Chargers over 9.5. I know it's gonna be tight. I think they get 10, maybe 11, but it's gonna be tight. But I like the Chargers over. Also like the Patriots over 8.5, which I know is betting over on a line that jumped 4 games is crazy, but I do believe in what's going on there. Give me the Dolphins under 8.5. Give me the Colts under 7.5. As my 2 fades, and then my last over is going to be the Panthers over 6.5. So I don't think that's hard, that difficult to get to. My only 2 future bets I'm making right now. I'm not doing any AFC or NFC bets. I am taking. Are you ready? The Ravens plus 650 and the Bills plus 700 to win it all.
Break your heart again.
Why are you laughing at me?
Because you're gonna break your heart again.
You said the Bills and the Ravens?
Yeah. To win the Super Bowl, yeah,
right.
yeah. So if either one, so like what I like to do on these bets is bet 2 or 3 small bets on each, and if they get to play each other, obviously I can cash one out. If one of them gets to the Super Bowl, I can cash one out and then at least cover the rest of my bets.
Yeah.
And so I'm riding the Ravens and Bills.
This is your year.
Listen,
you do
the
this
Chiefs
every year.
can't keep doing it forever.
They can.
They
but
just can't.
By
can.
the time that they don't, you're going to be not profitable.
I'll be broke. Yeah.
Yeah, right. He does it every year. He's a big Josh Allen truther. He breaks Denny's heart. Last year was brutal.
And I'm watching Hard Knocks, so of course I'm all in on Josh Allen.
Great season of Hard Knocks. I'm all in. What, Buffalo Bill?
Yeah.
No, what do they call him? Buffalo.
Buffalo Joe or
Buffalo Joe.
Yeah.
I haven't seen it yet. It's the Bills.
I've only watched 2 episodes, but it's the Bills, and it's just like it would make you love the Bills organization, the culture. You love Josh Allen.
Yeah.
You love the owner of the Bills. Like they
That's
just
cool.
built a special group that I just can't keep them down forever, man.
You can keep him down
I'm
4 years in a
I'm
row, though.
pulling
Hey,
for
look
him,
at
man.
Tommy Fleetwood yesterday.
That's true.
Only took 164 starts.
He was the
true.
Josh
Shout out
Allen
Tommy.
of the
Congrats.
PGA Tour, and Tommy persevered. Josh Allen is that strong.
Go get Europe at plus 150.
Yeah.
I know I'm still going to be rooting for the U.S., but Europe at plus 150 is ridiculous.
He sent me that text yesterday, and I said, "What in Europe? The World War III? What are we betting in Europe?" I know. Is this a soccer text? What are you
You
texting
knew
me?
exactly what I was saying, but you always make fun of me because of my text.
I was just messing with you.
I know
Did
you
you
are.
randomly text Europe plus 150?
Yep.
Yep.
No.
I would not have
No
gotten
Yeah,
context.
but he can read
But
my
he's a
mind.
Ryder Cup fanatic. He tracks all year long. Who should be on the team? Who shouldn't? Is Keegan going to name himself?
Yes, he should.
Okay.
100%.
Donald Trump?
If they want to win.
Donald Trump said he should. So it's one more vote for Keegan.
There you go. For me, let's go. I am going to put some money on the Bears over 8.5 at plus 115.
I'll take that money. You can just give it to
You save the juice. Yeah.
Better off than
I
betting
started
that.
laughing as soon as I said it because I knew Jack would say something. Broncos under 9.5 at plus 115. Lions under 10.5, which is minus 130. I'm taking the Packers over 9.5 at minus 125, and Dolphins under 7.5 at minus 115. My futures. How you not get the Commanders in there at 20-1, man? Come on, we gotta get
Because they're not going.
Because they're going to
Yeah,
they're going
but
to play the
we-
Bills or the Ravens as well.
Or the Eagles.
Yeah.
Or a
But
lot of
hey, this bar survives on the Commanders.
I know,
So
it does.
let's ride. I do like the Packers at 18-1, and then my favorite, I think, who's going to win, Chiefs at plus 850.
No Seahawks?
No Seahawks. I'm sorry, Jack. Not until the Ravens or Bills can beat the Chiefs. I'm in on the Chiefs at plus 850. And then I have one player prop. I'm all in on Drake London fantasy football. 8+ receiving touchdowns at plus 110. Go get it.
I like
Lock.
that. I like that.
All right. Let's get into now predictions for AFC, NFC championship and who is going to be our Super Bowl champion. So let's start with Denny one time. who you have in the AFC Championship
guess.
and who wins.
I'm gonna guess.
Yeah.
I can guess this one.
You want to
Yeah.
guess? Go ahead.
Go ahead, but I think I know what it is.
So, you ready?
You
The Bills get the Chiefs at home, not in the AFC Championship game, but leading in. Josh Allen defeats Mahomes at the last-minute drive, conquers his demons. He cries, I cry, everybody cries. So the Bills get there against the Ravens. Bills beat the Ravens 23-22 in an epic game in the cold. And then in the NFC, I've got the Commanders losing the division regular season, but getting the Eagles a rematch in the playoffs and beating them. By that point, Saquon's tired and probably hurt, and that's might be the difference. So I got the Bills over the Commanders in the Super Bowl.
So why don't you bet Commanders 20-1, and then you probably can be profitable.
I still may. Yeah.
All right, Josh Allen does it. It's like I'm hearing this over and over again every
Yes.
year.
Yes. One of the broken clock will be right eventually.
For me, I do have the Bills getting to the AFC Championship where they will lose to the Chiefs 20-17 in a close one. Josh Allen.
If that happens, I'm going to stop watching football and I'm going to throw my TV away.
I got to go with Mahomes. I think for Mahomes' stats, he didn't have a good year. I think he bounces back. With Rice is going to help him. In the NFC, I'm Packers. Packers over Eagles is kind of my crazy pick that I'm going with, 24-21. And then I'm going Chiefs over Packers, 31-27. You rolling your eyes?
Just sad. If that
Chiefs
happens,
again?
I'm just sad.
You have the Chiefs
again.
making it in 4 straight Super Bowls.
Yes.
and winning it. He's
And
got to
winning
win
it.
it over
And winning 3 of the 4.
Yes.
Something that's never been done
Never
before.
been done. They know that.
Seriously,
Going Chiefs.
that's not that crazy. It just makes me sad. That's all.
No, it's pretty crazy. It's never been done before.
I know.
All right. We'll see.
That's
also
insane.
never seen Patrick
This is
Mahomes,
Grabo's giblets.
That is
All right, let's go. Let's see what
insane.
let's
All
see
right,
what
tell
Jack
us
has.
what's really going to happen. Phil.
What's really gonna?
insane.
That's why Jack went last.
AFC Bills Ravens in the championship.
Oh,
They are the best 2 teams. I was giving you a hard time, but they are the 2 best teams
Okay.
in the AFC this year. I think the Ravens win and take down the Bills. And the Bills become. I mean, is there a fan base in the NFL in all of professional sports that have been as hurt as the Bills fans?
No.
4 losses in the 90s in
Jim
the Super
Kelly.
Bowl. I guess that was the last team to make it to 4 straight Super Bowls.
Yeah.
And then if this prediction comes true, then just like getting on the doorstep so many times. But Ravens over the Bills in the AFC Championship. Packers over the Commanders in the NFC, because I think the Commanders are going to win the NFC East. I was thinking Packers, maybe Eagles, but it's going to be an NFC East rep, but the Packers are going to take down the NFC East rep, and it's going to be Ravens winning the Super Bowl over the Packers.
I like that.
I like it. Yeah, we're all not that far off.
Yeah.
We're all pretty close there.
I think the AFC though like is just so much better than the NFC.
So much better.
And so like Bills, Ravens, Chiefs, even like I just can't go like with history. Like history tells me that the Chiefs are going to be too tired by the end of the season
Yeah.
to make another
Fair.
deep run.
Fair.
Because 3 years they've played 3 games, so they're 9 games extra than everyone else. Not accounting for what their past playoff has been in this era. They got some tired legs. This
Is it. This is their last hurrah. This is it. Kelsey retires on top. And
As
then-
Taylor Swift performs at the Super Bowl halftime.
Yeah. And
you
then
seen that?
and then Kelsey.
That's rumored.
Kelsey comes out and proposes,
Oh,
At halftime,
and the Chiefs win.
and then he wins the MVP. After catching the game-winning
If
touchdown.
she is the halftime show, that makes my pick so much better.
You know what my conspiracy theory is from last season? If the Chiefs had won that Super Bowl, he was going to propose there and then retire.
yeah.
But because he didn't, he's now sticking
So
it out.
she's got to
That's
wait a
what I
year.
think, too.
She's got to wait on a year. for a
Kelsey's
ring.
got one more year, win or lose.
Win or-
Yeah.
yeah,
In
he's
my
retiring. At the
I
end of
think
the
so.
year.
I think so.
Yeah.
So he can go just jet set the world with
He's got it
G-Swift.
made. He's got it made. And his mom's going to be in season 4 of Traders. I know you don't watch reality TV, but Traders
is great.
So good. And
So good.
And his mom is going to be in season
Really?
4. Yeah.
Do you like, not to completely go on a complete
Yeah,
tangent
yeah,
here at the end, but season 1 when they had regular people in
Yeah.
Traders, did you prefer that or when they went all reality stars?
Great question. I think they should. I think they should kind of alternate. Like
Yeah.
they should have they're going to do it should be an all-star season type thing. But I did like the civilians.
I love the civilians in it. They threw the game off.
Yeah, they sure did. Anyways, let's get he has no idea what we're talking
I don't even know what category we're in. It's fine.
Let's talk a little bit about cards because we are a card shop. And Denny, you kind of take this segment over. Who should we invest in as kind of a low buy right now that we think might take off during the season that we could sell as soon as they, throw a couple touchdowns or get a couple wins under their belt?
Yeah, I got 5 quarterbacks for you and 2 non-quarterbacks. So let's go. But I think my biggest buy, I've bought into your Drake May rhetoric. I think Drake May is a good buy because he showed progress last year. He's the guy this year. They got a better defense, good head coach. And he didn't have to win the Super Bowl for his cards to go up. If he wins 9 games as a starter, wins 10 games, makes the playoffs. My God, I think that people will be buying him like you bought Trevor 2 years ago, etc. So he's my best buy. If you believe in all the things I said today, I still like Herbert, Josh Allen, Lamar. These are 3 guys that. Herbert has lost me money the last 2 years in the card market. I've done okay with Josh and Lamar. I've snuck out at the right time despite the playoff disappointments. But if you believe one of those guys can win the Super Bowl, Josh or Lamar, I think that's when the card market views them differently when they get over the hump. Yeah, I think just making a Super Bowl actually for one of them gets them over the hump. I think Lamar and Josh both have these playoff demons that they need to exercise these demons, and unfortunately they have to go through each other and Patrick Mahomes to do so. But I mean, Mahomes is always a good buy. I think no matter what he does now, it can't really hurt his legacy. He's done too much. He's up there with the GOATs, and his cards will continue to go up like the Kobe's and the LeBrons and the Jordans cards that always seem to go up. And the Brady's, yes. All right, so I'll put Cam Ward question mark because I don't know. Last year I talked down on him in college because I watched the Virginia Tech game, watched him a few times in college. I didn't like the lackadaisical nature, but he's won me over with his whole work ethic thing. And I do believe superhuman work ethic matters, especially the quarterback position. And I don't think it's like an act. I think he really buys into that and has been doing that for a while and will continue to do that. You look at what Peyton did as far as work ethic was concerned, and the true greats have that. I'm not sure if he's that yet. I don't know. But that's why I put a question mark by him. So I would call him a flyer. And then the 2 non-quarterbacks are both receivers, and both Ohio State receivers, actually. So Marvin Harrison in year 2, I think he had a lackluster first half of the year. Second half of the year wasn't that bad, but he had already lost the card market buzz by the first half. So if he can come in and kind of do this year what we thought he should have done all year last year, I think people will start to remember that he got drafted above Neighbors and these other guys because he was the best quarterback in college coming out of that class. And finally, we mentioned him earlier, Egbuka. I think he's a stud, and I think he was overshadowed in college by Marvin and then by Jeremiah. And he's a really good receiver. And if you remember Chris Olave's rookie year, what he did, how often, how many the target share he got, I think Egbuka could get that kind of activity in year 1. And I think you're going to see he's a really consistent, steady, solid receiver.
Nice. Jack, are you a card guy? Do you collect cards? Or?
I did as a kid.
Yeah.
A lot. I was actually going to bring in some of my cards today and just be like, are these good?
Yeah.
Because I have no clue. I haven't opened up my cards in quite some time. But it's always interesting hearing the card market side of it. Because as a kid, when you're collecting, you're like,
you're right.
I got my favorite player. I have a Seahawks binder. It's just all my Seahawks cards. They're all probably worth 1 cent or something like that. But
Sean Alexander in there?
A lot of Sean Alexander.
From fantasy, I love that offense. Hasselbeck and Sean Alexander.
Was
Bobby Ingram. DJ Jackson.
Yeah.
Was that his name?
I'm trying to think who the stud receiver was of that. They had a stud receiver.
Daryl Jackson.
Was it Daryl Jackson? Okay, I'm thinking of somebody else.
Then they had Joe Jaravicious.
I like Jared. I like Jared as a player, not as a fancy asset, but just as a player. I like Jared.
Oh man, Jack? Do you have any take on those? Any of those names that he has thrown out that you would back or?
When you brought up Ohio State wide receivers, I thought for sure you're going to go with the greatest one that's come out in the last 5 years, Jackson Smith and Jigba.
Okay.
Over in the Pacific Northwest.
He's great. He's solid.
No, but I think Ibuka is going to be a really special player and almost take that Mike Evans role away from Mike Evans and just be this consistent 1,000-yard receiver in Tampa that whenever we think about great wide receivers, and this was kind of his Ohio State run too. Dude is the all-time leader in receiving yards at Ohio State, but he's never mentioned as one of the greats because he was overshadowed there.
Yeah.
And I think that's kind of what's going to happen in Tampa. We're going to be talking about who's the greatest wide receiver in the NFL, and we never mentioned Mike Evans for good reason. He's not one of the greatest wide receivers, but he's just a consistently above average guy. I like Ibuka. Cam Ward's interesting. I'm a Cam Ward hater. I don't think he's the savior of Tennessee. I get what you're saying with the flyer with him, because if he pops, he's so low right now that he could cash in. But I don't think he has what it takes to be a great, and this draft class was abysmal with quarterbacks, and I think it overinflated Cam Ward, where if he was a quarterback in last year's draft class in 24, he would have been below Bo Nix.
Yeah.
And we all hated on Bo Nix, and now we're propping up Cam Ward. I think if he came out last year and he didn't go to Miami for his final season, we'd be like, all right, Cam Ward's a great QB2 somewhere.
Yeah.
Fair.
And one interesting point on that is that a lot of these young quarterbacks get their price pop when they don't start the season, and then they get thrust in the starting lineup. That's when they get a little pop, and so like a Jackson Dart would be interesting. A lot of people think he's going to win the job there. I do too. But it's interesting is that in the last 10 years, most like stud quarterbacks that are now we consider studs started pretty much out of the gate, and it was like their show. But the two that aren't the case in the last 20 years were Brady and Mahomes. You know what I mean? They both came in and
Wild.
and neither one of them started out of the gate, which is pretty interesting.
That's wild.
Here's a question for you on the hottest topic of quarterbacking right now in the NFL with Shedeur Sanders. How do you see that playing out in the card market?
So, all right, so let's back up and give you some context. So, like, when he was in college, Paul Hickey, who runs the Sports Card Strategy podcast, the year before his last year at Colorado, was saying, hey, Shedeur is going to be a huge buy because he's going to be talked all year about in the Heisman running, and he was. He bought his, like, Bowman U cards, his college cards. His cards skyrocketed his last year at Colorado, and then ever since then, like, they've tanked, like, just tanked with all the draft stuff and all the other stuff that's come with Shedeur. So, how do I see that playing out? I have no idea. I feel like Flacco starts 4 or 5 games and someone else comes in and just pick a name out of the hat. I don't know. What do you think?
I mean, if you believe in him, he's a great buy right now. His second preseason game wasn't great. So after the first one, you kind of were like, oh, all right. And then you probably saw some pop on eBay and stuff like that. And then the second one, people were like, that's a Shedeur I'm thinking about. I wouldn't personally. But if you're someone that likes to gamble,
he's a penny stock.
And likes to gamble, and he can find somewhere. The media helps him. I think the media helps him and gets his hype up a lot. So if you believe in him, I would buy now.
But if I tell you that Flacco starts, let's say 4 games, and someone else comes in, are you taking? Who's your bet that starts game 5? Is it Pickett, Gabriel, or Shedeur?
That's tough.
I don't even have a lean there.
No lean.
Yeah.
Pickett is the backup, right, on the depth chart?
Yeah.
But he's bad.
He's not healthy.
Yeah, and he's not good when he does play. Gabriel, no one really thinks he's the best of the 4.
But he looked better than Shedeur the preseason.
I would think Shedeur would be a slight favorite of those 3. I don't know though.
What are the? Yeah, I'm sure you can look at the odds.
Why would you do that to yourself as the Browns? Like, why would you put yourself in that position?
I'm all out.
Well, why would you bring in Deshaun? You had Baker Mayfield.
Yeah,
and he was playing with a hurt shoulder. I talk about this all the time on my radio show. Like, we all are like, oh, Baker Mayfield's having a resurgence in Tampa. Well, he never really lost it. He just had a destroyed shoulder for 2 years. Couldn't throw a football, and then we were like, he's washed.
Yeah,
sucks for Baker, and it's like.
Do you remember that game with the Rams when he came in and led that drive and saved his career? Go watch. They'll give you chill bumps. Knowing
he was wearing like number 17. It's like, that's not a quarterback number.
It's a crazy. Basically, knowing what we know now about his career and how well he's done, like the fact that he almost wasn't going to get another shot. Crazy.
That's football.
Yep.
Well, that's going to be it for Graybo's Giblets. I want to thank Jack. Appreciate you coming out, man, taking the time out and coming on with us. Is there where can people find you? Do you have social media? Where can people find you?
Yeah, thanks for having me. This has been a blast. You can find me at FITZ all the way on Twitter, Instagram, and you can also find the show Fitz The Bill, ESPN RVA, all one word on Instagram and TikTok. And then ESPN Richmond every weekday morning, 8 to 10 a.m., 106.1 ESPN, and on ESPN Richmond socials as we stream everything. It's 2025. We're in the digital age, so do all that fun stuff.
Well, it was a lot of fun. Appreciate you coming out.
Fitz had me on his show a few months back to talk about the hot dog contest, and I appreciate that. And he's going to have me back on to talk football.
We only had 9.
Yeah, but they were the big dogs.
Yeah,
There was an ordering mishap. So our hot dogs are large.
I don't care if they're big dogs or small dogs. I'm there next season,
All right, let's do
next
it.
yeed, and I'm getting at least 15.
Well,
let's do it. Let's do
throwing
it.
it.
somebody bookmark that. Okay, clip that.
Yeah, we used the wrong dogs.
Yeah, the
We're
year
coming
before.
on Friday too, and excited.
Is it this
to
Friday?
talk-
Yeah,
this
great.
Friday.
Let's do it.
Let's do it. All right. Well, that's going to be it. Give us a 5-star review anywhere you listen. Appreciate it. We'll see you guys next time.
ESPN Radio, Giblets.